Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Locked On Flames. Today, I am joined by Jay Forster of Locked On Blue Jackets, and we are going to do a little squad cast and just see how different these two teams are since the last time that they met.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in and making Locked On Flames your first listen of the day. I'm Jess Belmosto, and we've got a fun squad cast for today. We were supposed to record this last night, but both Jay and I were like, nope, we are exhausted. So, Jay, thanks for joining me. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh my
I think this
goodness.
is our first time squad cast, so it should be fun.
Definitely. So, do you want to tell everyone kind of about the wonderful the unfamiliar roster that the Blue Jackets have assembled?
Yeah. So the Blue Jackets turnover has been all basically. I haven't looked it up, but on average, like when I've been doing these crossovers, the roster difference has been I think like 7 or 8 players are the same.
Wow.
since the last time we faced any kind of particular team that wasn't in our division last year. Obviously, with the COVID season, we didn't face any of the Canadian teams, so it's been a minute since we faced the Flames. We've got a new captain in Boone Jenner. Nick Foligno is with the Bruins now. Cam Atkinson, who was one of our top players, has gone to Philadelphia. David Savard has gone. Pierre-Luc Dubois has gone. Josh Anderson has gone. Just a real big turnover. Lots of new faces. Lots of first-time NHL faces. I think we've had 6 Blue Jackets players have scored their first NHL goals this season, which is fun. Obviously, Cole Zillinger, youngest player in the league, he's doing really well. He just returned to the lineup in the game on Sunday night. I think the last game. I don't know what day it is anymore.
It's okay.
But
I'm always like, yeah, I don't know. The last game. That's it. That's all you're getting out of me.
There was a game at some point in the last week and a half, but I couldn't tell you who it was or when it was. No, so he just came back. Obviously, we picked up Jake Varick from Philadelphia. He has made his triumphant return to Columbus, and honestly has been one of our best players this season. Got rid of Seth Jones. Obviously, we made out like a bandit in that trade. Picked up essentially 4 first-round picks for Seth Jones, because we got Adam Boquist, who was a former first-round pick. We got next year's first-round pick. We flipped first-round picks this year, so we went from 32nd to 12th. Picked up Cole Zillinger, and we picked up Jake Bean for a second-round pick that we got from Chicago.
That's impressive.
First-round pick. So we did okay with that trade. But yeah, lots of new faces, lots of new look lines. It's mostly just Zach Werenski and Bjorkstrand and a bunch of new guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I don't even know if the Flames have faced Columbus since Bobrovsky left. I'm trying to think.
God, I feel like yes, we must have done, but
when did he leave? Was that 2018?
It was.
No, because he was on the team in 2019.
No, so it was the 2018 playoffs. He left because he left after the sweep.
Oh, that's right.
So we swept Tampa and then lost to Boston, and that was the last.
Yeah.
He and Panarin and Duchesne all left in free agency
Wow.
after that. So let's find out when the last time they played was. Because that's the thing, like it's been
like a year and a half, 2 years at this point for most of these teams outside of, the
the Blue
bubble.
Jackets and Calgary. That was actually one of the last games that the Blue Jackets played before the COVID pause in
Oh my God.
March. So the last game was March 4th, 2020. You guys won in overtime. So
Oh my God. That's so weird to think about though, because so much has changed globally. And then obviously with hockey.
yeah, it's every time I think about how long it's been since we've played a certain team or whatever, I'm like, no, that can't be right.
Mhm.
It feels bonkers.
Yeah. Like I feel like a lot of us are still in March 2020.
I mean, yeah, like emotionally,
Yeah, like none of
mentally,
us have like
etc.
progressed past that. But what what do these new faces bring to the lineup ahead of this evening?
Oh man, mostly a lot of youthful exuberance.
Oh.
Lots of stick-based penalties. We love to do stick crime now. Obviously, Tortorella's gone.
Oh yeah.
Players are not terrified to make mistakes anymore. So there's some mistakes, but also excitement. For the most part, this is a fun team. They don't always play very good hockey, but generally they play pretty fun hockey. I don't know how familiar you are with Micah McCurdy, one of the advanced stats guys.
No.
He does chart based on like uh, how high event the game is. So there's four quadrants, and there's like
Is that the
allows a
good
lot allows
fun?
a lot of shots and takes a lot of shots, and then there's allows few shots, takes a lot of shots, etc. And the Blue Jackets kind of end up really squarely in the we may win but I may die quadrant, which is basically high event hockey, high nonsense. So that's kind of what you can expect. It could be an interesting game. It's really hard to predict what Blue Jackets team we're going to get tonight, because it could be the team that faced Florida and lost 9-2, or it could be the team that shut out Carolina 6-0. It's really hard to predict.
Yeah, no, that's how the Flames used to be and sometimes still are, and, I'm sure we'll talk about the Flames coming up next, but first, let's talk about snacks. Jay, are you someone who enjoys snacking while, watching hockey?
Yeah, I would say snacking probably constitutes 40% of my personality at this point, so I love to snack.
And do you know what makes a delicious snack? Built bars.
It sure does.
They are delicious tasting protein bars that are good for you, that don't taste like protein bars. They are covered in chocolate and have a wide variety of flavors that you can get online at a discounted price thanks to their wonderful promo code LOCKED15. So head on over to built.com today and sign up for their newsletters so you know when those limited time deals are coming and those flash sales, and I'm sure they'll do some March Madness brackets again this year,
Oh,
and
that was fun.
that was so much fun. And you can buy them today at 15% off with promo code LOCKED15. Oh boy. So what should we talk about next?
Let's talk about the Flames, because it's weird. I always feel like the Flames are such an interesting team to me, because because of the ability to play them so rarely.
Mhm.
They're always kind of on the periphery of kind of my hockey attention. So they've
That's
had a
how.
really hot start to the season, and then they've
Yes.
kind of fallen off a little bit recently. So what's up with that?
So right before Christmas, they were patient zero, and sorry everyone. Yeah, like there was just it was like right after they had traveled. No, they had come back home and they had like a 5-game homestand, and all these other teams were like going on with their schedule, and then they are patient zero, so their organizations shut down, and then everyone else just, the dominoes fell, and they kicked back up after the new year, and I believe they lost 4 straight, and everyone acted as if the sky was falling, but it wasn't. Like, the Flames were still playing good hockey, and, just because I feel like I have to say this all the time, just because, like, they're athletes and they were asymptomatic or had mild symptoms doesn't mean that, like, their body is still, like, 100%. Like,
Mhm.
even, like, if I just get, like, a basic sinus infection, I feel like trash, okay? Like, I'm running at, like, 75% for a good 5 days after my antibiotics, so shout out to hockey players, but, like, they just weren't playing at the level that they were before Christmas, and then they ended up just going on a tear, I believe, and just kind of finding their offensive fire again and being able to, I don't know, they got it together. And then Markstrom battled an injury. They went out to the East Coast to play the Florida teams and then Carolina, and they lost 3-4 in a row again, and it was a wake-up call for the team, in my opinion. Markstrom was angry. Dan Vladar was, the poor kid, probably shaking like a chihuahua. But I just was quite impressed with how quickly they've been able to turn it around. And for a team that does not play well at home, they've been playing well at home. So they're on the road today. We'll have to see.
Yeah, the Blue Jackets have typically been playing pretty well at home and are terrible on the road. So again, it really could go either way. But let's talk a little bit more about Markstrom because we love to talk about goalies on Locked On Blue Jackets. I love to talk goalies basically
Yeah.
anytime I have a chance. Would you say he's been one of the biggest reasons for team success? I feel like
Yeah.
the Flames kind of snuck up out of nowhere, and I was looking at the stats the other day, and I was like, "What? Markstrom's like his numbers are really good this season."
Yeah. So last year was his first year with the team, and thank God, because they would have been like bottom of the barrel, worse than, I don't even know, Buffalo last year had they not signed him in free agency. And this year so he was coming back from like a back injury, nothing too major, but he has been able, like, aside from the games that he has unfortunately allowed a lot of those, high scoring goals, he looks like a Vezina Trophy winner. And I think he's not in the conversation because his defense is just like crapped out in front of him those nights. And when you have Nikita Zadorov and Eric Goodbranson out there going up against some of the best players in the league, like, honey, you're alone on, like, good luck. And he has just been so strong. There are some saves that I don't know how he makes. Like, I think if I tried to do that, I wouldn't be able to get back up. Like, you'd have to, like, it would just be a mess. And he makes it look so easy, which is so frustrating because I'm like, "Oh, I could do that. I can make a save." And there are, like, with most goalies, they, a, a blooper will get by them. No, like, he is so on top of it. There have been a few games where his puck tracking has been a little iffy. Specifically, it was the game against Boston right before the shutdown, and they just, like, he could not figure it out, to say the least. And ever since then, it's been better. So I'm interested to see how it goes, especially with Columbus being, they have that kind of shoot crazy mentality.
Yeah, we are. We're pretty high in. I think the last time I checked, we were 10th in goals for per game, but also like 28th in goals against. So it could kind of go either way. But talking about the defense specifically for a second,
Oh my God.
you guys also lost your captain.
Yeah, we did.
This off season. How has that kind of impacted the team? Because I know for me, Nick Foligno was not the best player on the team by
Mhm.
far, but I think he played a really important role, and it's been super interesting to see kind of how the leadership of the team specifically has shaken out since his departure. So kind of talk a little bit about the hole that Mark Giordano has left in the line.
Yeah. So I honestly expected there to be a bigger gap, like, you know, just because he was a top pairing defenseman. He spent his entire career with the team, but he was 37, 38 years old. And, you get older, you can't keep up with the young guys anymore. And I honestly, the defense, the top four, we're not even going to acknowledge the third pairing, but they have improved. And I think that there's a certain level of accountability within the entire team now. Matthew Tkachuk has completely toned down his antics, and there were rumors last year that Gio lost the room very early in the season. And it was after Jake Muzzin like flipped the puck at Tkachuk, and apparently they had a players only meeting, and everyone was like, "What the hell?" But there are certain players that have stepped up, and my good friend Milan Lucic, who for those of you who don't know, he has me blocked on every social media platform because he name searched and didn't like my constructive
That's
criticism.
still like one of the funniest.
Yeah.
Like, it must be frustrating for you having been blocked by a Calgary player, but also it's just extremely, extremely funny.
It's just funny because I was like, it wasn't even like I tweeted at him. I just was like, oh, Luch needs to not throw his teammates under the bus. And then I messaged him on Instagram and was like, hey, you blocked me. Can we clear the air? Sorry. And then he blocked me on there. So I was like, okay, clearly we are two different people. So Luch has stepped up big time, and the addition of Blake Coleman and bringing in the guys from the LA Kings who have all won championships. I think that there's been a real big morale boost, and just because we haven't named a captain yet doesn't mean that there's this absence of leadership. And I just think that the team chemistry, the communication is so much stronger and very evident when you watch this team. There was a goal from Monday night's game, and there was just Sean Monahan's patience with the puck. It was very attractive. You just watched him go after it, and then it was just crystal clear communication that I have not seen from this team since I started covering them.
Hey, you can't complain about that.
No, I'll take it. I'll happily take that.
Yeah, plus there's lots to like about this
Yeah,
this
I
Flames
think
team.
yeah, I do think that they fly under the radar because they are in the Texas of Canada, and the good old listeners of Locked On Flames have been like, yeah, no, that's a very fair comparison. So they called Manitoba or Winnipeg the Ohio of Canada. And I was like, okay, well, I liked Ohio when I went, so good for them.
Yeah,
But
Ohio gets a bad rap, but
it does.
I'm a big fan of Columbus. I'm biased, but it's a great little city. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. I went to Cleveland when I was 12. It didn't seem bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I went to a Red Sox game. That's all I remember. But to wrap up the show, we will be just giving our predictions and just, more of this fun preparation. And if you have time before the game or the next game, really, you can head on over to BetOnline AG and get your bets in. They have a revamped website that you can check out on your phone, computer, tablet, iPad, Leapster, Leapfrog, whatever your heart desires, and get a 50% welcome bonus when you sign up and use promo code Locked On. And all you have to do, very easy, sign up, make your first deposit, and promo code Locked On. They have your bets, your live updates, your props, your lines, everything that matters to you when placing your bets. And they have fun Vegas casino games because if you're like me, you're a big fan of cards and betting on sports is terrifying. So head on over to BetOnline AG today and sign up for that free account. Make your first deposit and make sure to use promo code Locked On for that 50% welcome bonus. Oh man. So if you had to name a player to watch tonight for Columbus, who would it be?
Oh man, I think my player to watch would be. Honestly, I think my player to watch is going to be Elvis Merzlikins. He's kind of had an up and down season. Listeners of Locked On Blue Jackets will know he's my favorite. I love him. Like I say, kind of an up and down, inconsistent season, but when we've needed him to be good, he has been fantastic. Again, you know, he's had some games where he's not been very good. You know, he's been pulled twice this season in the first period for allowing 3 or more goals on, you know, under 15 shots. So, you know, he's had some rough games, but he's also had some fantastic games. He's got 2 shutouts on the season. He's kind of our de facto number one. I'm super excited to see who we're going to draft with the first round pick that we get from Edmonton for Jonas Korpisalo at the trade deadline, which will be a shame because I love Korpisalo. I think he's been fantastic for us the past couple of seasons, but Elvis is our future number one. So he's definitely someone to watch, and I would keep an eye on Adam Boqvist as well, who's returning to the lineup. He was the kind of the main piece that we got in the Seth Jones trade that talks about at the start of the episode. He's been out for a while with COVID, but he is back, and he just, every time I think that the game is like it's kind of there's nothing happening or the Blue Jackets are kind of completely out of it, he will just score like a bonkers goal from like behind the goal line or something. He's a real kind of like a rover. I always joke that the Blue Jackets defense is just 5 rovers and then Vladislav Gavrikov, who is the only one that plays actual defense. But kind of between him and Werenski, who's very offensively gifted, there's a lot of goal scoring potential on our defensive core. So and Boqvist, I think, is probably the most fun offensively speaking. He loves to score from kind of between the goal line and like the bottom of the hash marks. He loves to just kind of sneak up on the back door and just score like a bonkers goal. So if I had to pick like an unexpected goal scorer, he would be my pick. But let me flip the question back at you. Who should Blue Jackets fans be paying attention to on the Flames tonight?
I mean, I think besides the obvious, Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk, who have had just like phenomenal seasons, I would say probably Michael Backlund, who is centering the second line tonight. Really, the second line in general is just very strong two-way forwards. They have been struggling offensively. I think that Blake Coleman has had more offensive success recently than his center and line mate. But I think if they can get going and get on the same page, then they'll have a strong night. Backlund is he flies under the radar. He really does, because he can center any line on this team and he will rack up like 20 assists. It's just, he's insane and very underappreciated. But I think that just watching their playmaking abilities is fantastic, and just it's fun. Like if you watch it, not just from like okay, like I'm watching as a fan and I just hope they score goals, but from a more critical standpoint that, you learn to do after hosting a daily podcast for 2 years, it's kind of just it's a more interesting way to watch hockey and to see it from a different perspective. So I'm going to say the whole second line. So that's Andrew Mangiapane, Michael Backlund, and Blake Coleman.
Yeah, I did just check the Flames roster. There are no former Blue Jackets on the Flames squad, which is good because former Blue Jackets love a revenge game against their former team. So that's good. Every time I've kind of done one of these squadcasts, these crossovers, we've done final score predictions and also game-winning goal scorer predictions. So let me get your final score and who's scoring the game-winning goal.
Ooh, okay. I think it's going to be 4-3 Calgary, and Mangiapane. He's due for a goal. So he'll be our game winner. Now, obviously, I'm going to flip that back to you because that's only fair.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And this is the thing, it's been so hard because sometimes the Blue Jackets just go off and score a bunch of goals, and sometimes they completely implode. And again, I have no idea which Blue Jackets are gonna show up tonight, but I think I'm gonna say 4-3 Blue Jackets in overtime. And I'm going to say, who hasn't scored an overtime game in a while? I'm going to say Zach Werenski for the overtime winner.
Okay.
I
was going to say overtime as well. I really was. And I was like, I can't speak that into existence because I would like to go to bed at a decent hour.
Valid.
But no, I think that both teams are going to bring the heat tonight, and the Flames are riding high after just demolishing St. Louis 7-1. And, I don't think that they're necessarily a team that's going to come in and underestimate the Blue Jackets, but I think that they're probably going to be like a little worn out from, just steamrolling and then traveling.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. The Blue Jackets have lost their last 2 games on the bounce. They just lost to Ottawa, which was a game, and then they shot themselves in the foot against Pittsburgh. So it'd be nice to see them.
Oh, that's right. That was the game where Pittsburgh scored 2 goals in 9 seconds, right? Was that this past weekend?
No, that was
okay.
It was. They did do that. It wasn't against us. It was 2-2 at the end of the second period, and then the Blue Jackets decided that what they were going to do is take 1 million penalties and decline any opportunity to get a shot on goal. And
Love
then
that.
got a hat trick because Sidney Crosby does that still.
He's so good.
He's so good. I hate it. I don't.
Like people talk about how
I love Sidney Crosby, but man,
I hate playing against him.
Yeah,
but I love him. People talk about Tom Brady and how like his longevity and how like it's so miraculous that he's still so good. Where is that conversation when it comes to Sidney Crosby?
Right, and think about like this can't be a conversation that we have because otherwise it will go for forever. But like he missed a bunch of time as well due to injuries. Like think about where he could be if he hadn't missed the most of 3 seasons back.
Right.
In, like,
and Malkin too. He's missed a ton of time. So you know what? Maybe this is just we need to have a squad cast with Hunter from Locked On Penguins and just run our mouths about how fantastic Sidney Crosby is.
I'm gonna have to cut that from my episode. The Blue Jackets fans like what? But no, Penguins good. I hate it. Blue Jackets not so good. I also hate it. But hopefully, tonight's game will be fun.
Yeah,
it'll be good to see the Flames again. It's been nice seeing teams that we haven't seen in a while. So.
Yeah, and it's honestly like there are some teams that just fly under my radar, and I follow a decent amount of Blue Jackets fans. By that I mean like 4, but
that's
so
basically all of us.
And like just sometimes I'm like, oh my god, this person doesn't play for this team anymore, or it's crazy I love goalies, and I love the tandem that Columbus has, and I'm just happy for them. But it's like you said, that first round pick, uh, it's not going to Edmonton. I'm sorry, he can't beat up on my Flames.
Yeah, that's fair. But that is I believe what's happening. So I've been thinking about this since the start of the season. I was like, man, he's going somewhere. It's probably going to be Edmonton, which is going to suck for him and also me because I like him. But here we are.
Yeah, hopefully his
doesn't
jersey
deserve
doesn't end up on the ice. But that is all I have for today. Do you have anything else you'd like to add or throw out
I don't
there?
think so. Just a formal apology for predicting everything wrong today because my psychic powers can only be used for evil. So we'll see. We'll Blue Jackets fans will we'll break the game down tomorrow. We'll see exactly how wrong I was.
Yeah. I mainly hope that you're wrong about winning and overtime. Because
Listen, we need these points more than you.
yeah, you're not wrong. But you know what? Thank you so much for chatting with me today. It's always a pleasure. And where can Flames fans find you on social media?
So you could find Locked on Blue Jackets wherever you get your podcasts. We're not on YouTube yet, but other than that, you can find us wherever you get Locked on Flames. You can find us on Twitter over at LO_Blue Jackets, usually for some yelling, some memes, some existential dread about this team of horrible children that I unfortunately love. And if you would like some dog pictures and some Star Wars opinions mixed in with your hockey talk, then you can follow me over at _Jacob Forster, JAKOBFORSTER.
Yes, thank you so much for jumping on, and good luck.
Thanks, we're going to need it.
Yeah.